You're watching the Coast to Coast Sports Show. Good morning, everyone. It's Vin Robinson here on location in Winnipeg, Manitoba. This morning is a very exciting opportunity for an interview that we have with a very good friend of mine, Commissioner of the Filipino Basketball Association, MANNY ARANEZ.
Hi, Vin.
MANNY, thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. We both share a common passion, which is the sport of basketball, and that's what's brought us together here today. There is a lot of athletes, people that are wondering what's going on and how could we create some type of scenario to get back to playing. That was the purpose for bringing MANNY here today. MANNY, we have a few questions for you, so let's get to it.
Sure.
MANNY, tell me something. How long have you been with the PBA in your current position?
Well, I've been the commissioner ever since this PBA started. That was like 20-something years ago.
Okay, so there's a lot of history there. You've seen a lot of things over the years. Now, with that being said, we have seen over the years the growth of the sport. A rough estimate in the number of players or even supporters, what percentage do you think the PBA represents in Manitoba for the sport?
Well, it's a big percentage. I don't know exactly the numbers are, but we are not only catering for Filipino ballers, but we are open to all ethnicities, and we average about more than 100 teams for over 15 divisions. So it's a big group of ballers in Manitoba.
Yeah, I've been witness to what you guys are able to pull together, and it from the opening ceremonies all the way to the end, it's fantastic. Strongly encourage you guys to keep that type of momentum going for our sport in the province. Now, above and beyond that, there's a few other things that we wanted to get out in the open today and talk about. One of those other things that we wanted to discuss today was how the pandemic has affected high school student athletes. And we have to believe and understand that high school is one of the most important years of our lives. I mean, men and women, we get dressed up in tuxedos, go get the prom dress. These are important years, and it's something that we're definitely missing out on. So from a PBA perspective, MANNY, tell me a little bit about how you've seen this affect these student athletes during this crucial time, grade 11 and 12.
Well, it has affected in so many different ways. The kids, because of boredom and nothing to do, they ended up going to work and working at home, online, training and all that. And not only that, like the PBA athletes, they going out on a Sunday for a basketball is one way of getting together, family outings and all that. So that had changed. So it has affected in so many different ways.
So we know that health is number one, public safety is number one, but we also have to have some type of fine balance between not missing out on these crucial years with these high school athletes and doing something to preserve it for them. So my question to the PBA, if there was a scenario that could be presented to level of government to lobby for your constituents, would it be something that the PBA would participate in?
Oh, definitely, sure. PBA has always been very consistent on our mission, is to continue to develop athletes And so that way, if we follow the restrictions, we are so open and, running a league in a bubble.
Right, right. All right, quick question here for you. You've seen a lot of basketball players throughout the course of your time. Sometimes we hear rumors of greatest of all time, greatest players that have never been ranked. I'm a little bit curious. Have you ever seen any players come through the PBA that oddly enough were not ranked in their high school or college years, but started to develop and shine later in life, 2021, and maybe even go over to the Philippines and play pro?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I definitely have a player like that. I can't really name him right now, but he has been representing the Filipino basketball in all Filipino basketball North American tournaments, and he's been my MVP all together with my high school or my college players here in Winnipeg.
Wow.
And he went to the Philippines and played a little bit in the PBA, and then he had to come back to Winnipeg because of family reason.
Right, right. And now it would be great to have some type of platform here for this athlete to do something, or even give back to the younger generation.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Manny, future direction for the PBA, where would you like to see this go? Are you happy with where the league is right now? Do you think we need an extension above and beyond the years of 18 years of age? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, with my ever supportive committee, we wanna offer every single division out there what we can run. So I want to see it grows more, even more. I want to see the kids. I've seen already the high school kids are awesome right now.
Oh yeah.
And we wanted to continue to really see their progress. So can't wait until this restrictions loosen up a bit.
Manny, thank you for taking the time for the interview today.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
Your contribution to the sport of basketball over the years is enormous. And even your latest accolade, which is being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
So honored.
So you're doing great things. If you guys are not aware of the Filipino Basketball Association, Google it, click on the link, do all of that stuff and follow it, because it really is the heart of basketball in the province of Manitoba and what makes it move. Check it out. Manny?
Harlem. Kildonan East Collegiate. I play high school for Kildonan East Collegiate now, and I used to play AAA before that. 2022. It means a lot because it's my last year of organized sports until after, but it'll mean a lot because it's my last year playing. It's always one to remember.
Mate, I've done my homework, and there's some stuff here that I thought I'd leave you with today. I've known you for a long time. Great guy. So I wanted to leave you with a piece of history in case you never had it. So in 1995, this was the ranking, the championship of the ranking, and how you came out. So I wanted to leave you with that.
All right.
Just so that you had a print.
Thanks, Kevin.
Wanted to see your face and the reaction. This is embedded in basketball history here. Mate won the 1995 championship. I believe in grade 11 he came over from Europe, had roughly one season and a bit here to really make his mark, and he did. In that ranking you could see there that there wasn't really anybody that came close to him. And another good friend of ours that we know of, Marlon Krause, his kids are doing amazing things in the basketball scene in Manitoba right now. So yeah, I wanted to leave that with you and just stimulate some memories so that when we sit there and we talk, you're on the ball.
Thank
right?
you. Yeah, this has definitely some great memories, and like you said, we've known each other for a long time, and I think we even played one against one another, and this has been great memories. I mean, this is what it's all about. you know, and hopefully these kids will get an opportunity just like I did. So, yeah, thanks a lot for this, and yeah, bring some really good memories.
Hey everyone, it's Vin Robinson here with the Coast to Coast Sports Network. This is a really exciting interview here for us today. A longtime friend of mine, MATEJ MAROTI, is here with us. MATEJ, I want to say, is a triple threat to this interview for a few different reasons based on what's going on with the pandemic. First and foremost, a little nostalgia here with MATEJ. Mr. MAROTI was the 1995 high school champion. You know, MATEJ, when I show you something like this, when we pull this out of the archives, tell me, how does that make you feel?
Hi, my name is MATEJ. Kevin, I want to thank you for having me at this interview here at the show. I mean, it's absolutely great. It brings some great memories. I was sort of like you mentioned earlier, I was sort of like one and done in high school. I just kind of showed up in about 3/4 through grade 11 year and played a little bit of grade 11, played a little bit of provincial team after that, and played 1 more year of high school. And I wasn't even sure what to expect. I was just playing basketball, trying to get accustomed to the new culture, and still didn't know English all that great. And the basketball just kind of took by the storm and gave me a purpose. And you know, I kind of went ever since. I'm still involved in the game of basketball at different levels. But yeah, absolutely, it brings some great memories. A lot of guys trying to compete for the same goal and trying to be friends. And I mean, there are some great names there, like Marlon Krause, Jafal Fosses, Luke Buller, like Kevin Getz. Like, there are some really, really great names. And to be at the top of that list and you know, being respected and shown respect by other coaches, like, it just feels great. But like I said, I never expected it because I didn't know what the process was about.
Right.
Like, I never thought. There's no university basketball in my birth country. I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's all clubs, just like hockey is here. You know, like you got MJH, you got different hockey leagues, and back home that's how it is. Different hockey clubs, and there's no high school basketball, so I really didn't expect anything. I was just playing for the love of the game, and one day my high school coach brought me in and he showed me this, and at first I didn't know what it was. I just saw my name, but he kind of explained to me what the process was. So yeah, it was definitely an exciting time, and I try not to look back at it as much right now, but it's, you know, nice that you brought it up front here, and yeah, it's just special. It just really is special.
The reason why the timing is so key is because right now, because of the existing pandemic, a lot of seniors last year missed out on their grad year as student athletes, and in addition, this year potentially the same thing could happen. We are looking for the solution, and we're lobbying for the solution. And when we have an athlete from Europe, a different style of basketball completely, way before its time, speaking to us about what it was like, the feeling to be in the air of that championship. It's what kids go to school for. They go to school for the prom dress, they go to school for the tux, renting the limo, doing all of these things, and it's a time that we're missing out on. So, MATEJ, talk to me a little bit about what you think these student athletes would be robbed of by not having, whether it's a bubble tournament or some type of event to play in.
I think it would be devastating for most of them, if not all of them. I mean, there are kids all over the province, all over the country that are just dedicated to the sports like never before. They got better training, better access to information, and for them not to be able to have a tournament or have some kind of ID camp like you were talking about earlier, it would be absolutely devastating, because some of these kids walk into high school and that's their dream. You know, I want to win the basketball championship, I want to go to the next level. When I say the next level, I want to go to university and play basketball. And for them to have, I guess, 2 seasons, you know, almost like the last year and maybe even this year's season, sort of, I don't want to say quote unquote wiped out, but not to have that opportunity, I think it would be very devastating. But I know a lot of kids in this province have shown great resilience, you know, in and outside the classroom at this different time, we are living at a different time with this pandemic, something we never experienced before, and you know, they showed the resilience and they kept training, hoping to get to the next level. And there's a lot of guys in the city, for example, like C2C that comes to mind. He's been really doing a great job at attack basketball, having different platforms for those kids to keep training through Zoom and have one-on-one sessions. And even a guy like ARANEZ, who lives in Toronto now, but still involved with kids through attack basketball. So to go back to the point, yeah, it's devastating, but this group has shown resilience. They kept trying, and a lot of this year was you know, keeping in touch with their high school coaches, because in my opinion, high school coaches have been the key to relay the information to the coaches at the next level. And so yeah, I mean, it could be devastating, but like I said, there have been some other platforms in terms of training that kids can focus on and get distracted a little bit. And but I mean, it is hard. It's definitely hard on the kids.
Now, as far as a teacher, this is a different dynamic that we have to look at in this. You being with the Louis-Riel School Division, you see it from a different perspective. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for being on that first line of defense, dealing with these student athletes, helping them through tutorials and their education process. From a teacher standpoint and a coach standpoint, for the love of basketball, you talk to us a little bit about what the kids would be missing out on. Talk about the experience from a coaching perspective, or the guidance from a teacher perspective, because that's also something why you get involved in the business, right? Right. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, you're missing on a special relationship with kids. You know, these kids come to you and look up to you, and they're pouring your soul and heart to you every single day in practice, and not just in practice, but individual practices before the school or after school, or they're asking you for some kind of workout program. So you're missing the special relationships with kids that you develop over time, especially the kids that really love it as much as you do. You know, they're really to give you everything for the high school team. So you're missing the special relationship, that special bond that that the teachers will miss this year. You know, hopefully it goes back. Hopefully this doesn't last long and it goes back to normal next year. So you're missing the hard work that they show, the team meetings. You know, like you're just missing that special bond, that commitment. So for somebody that likes basketball as much as I do, it's been fairly hard for me not to coach, not to have that opportunity to build special relationships. So yeah, I would say it's the relationship that you miss. You know, the sacrifice that you see these kids do, the teamwork that they buy into, and so yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was never able to play for him, but his name was Coach Jerry Hildebrand. And he was the varsity coach the year before my tenure at Vincent Massey. And I remember him pulling me aside. It was something over 25 years ago. But I remember him pulling me aside, and he said, high school will be some of the best years of your life. And I remember I kind of just laughed him off, you know, 17, 18 years old, and I just kind of laughed him off. Now, post-high school, I've done a lot. I've had a good life. But let me tell you, there's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. Matej, you've given us some great insight today on the perspective of the sport and what we would be missing out on, and what these student athletes would be missing out on. I'm glad to see that you're doing well, and that we're still in contact these many years later.
Thank you.
Please keep up your hard work and the contribution that you're doing for these kids, because they really need us there.
Same to you, Kev. Thanks a lot, and I know you do a lot for amateur sports in this province, and I know you've been at it for quite a long time, and I know you're successful at it, and keep up the good work. There's a lot of kids that appreciate what you do in this province, and for not just the game of basketball, but for the amateur sports, and thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Veterans and members of Canadian Armed Forces.
We're hitting the hardwood for you.
Here we are. The year is counting down. Nothing but despair in the air. Athletes from across Western Canada wondering, when are we going to get a chance to hit the hardwood court again? Grade 11s, grade 12s, chomping at the bit, nervous, am I going to get a chance to play post-secondary sports? Have no fear, Vin Robinson from Coast to Coast Sports is here, and we're here to introduce the Midwest Shootout, coming to you in spring 2021. Log on to coasttocoastsports.net on how you can get nominated to be part and get in the game.
You're currently watching the Northern Grizzlies in the white moving the ball. Foul's called on number 54, Black. Substitution being made for Alberta.
Yeah, just maybe keep your head on or read.
to the hole for 2 points. Fouls called on number 57 for Alberta. Substitutions being made. Fouls called on number 57, Alberta. Fouls called on number 11 for the Northern Grizzlies. Substitutions being made for both teams. Three points. Finding the range behind the arc. Out of bounds, possession goes to Alberta.